Before CapDesk, we were using what every startup I've ever worked at has used, and what I imagine most startups have always used, which is Excel. It's a great tool, very flexible, you can do what you want with it, but therein lies the problem. It's all too easy to let errors slip in, look at a data set in Excel and think it's right. Every line of code in that Excel spreadsheet relates to an individual, more likely an employee, and that employee thinks they're getting a certain amount of equity. Your system says something different. At some point you've got to square the circle, and those are embarrassing and expensive, and they always come at the worst possible time. I'm Nick Poynton, I'm CFO at Privitar. I have over 20 years experience in startups, and I've been working at Privitar for over 2 years now. Privitar is a software company in the data privacy engineering space. We enable our customers to derive value from secondary use of data while remaining compliant with various regulations, including GDPR. We are in our 5th year of trading. Current headcount is about 80 and growing. We've just gone through a Series B fundraising, raising $40 million from Axel, amongst other investors. The real benefit of moving on to CapDesk from such an early stage in our development, when we were only at the time in low 30s employees, was that we could go in, get everything right from the start, and then now you know that whatever you're looking at, the data is right. When I've come across situations before where we're fixing incorrect equity data, it's not so much the financial costs, because those are very hard to separate out within a large transaction. It's more the additional aggravation and time it takes. You're going through a transaction, someone's doing due diligence all over the company's history, and you're busy enough anyway, you just don't need the additional aggravation. So if you can enter those kind of periods knowing that at least one thing is right, then you're going to be in a much better place and much more comfortable. My boss, the CEO, through his network, came across CapDesk through some recommendation, sent me a link, said, have a look at this, what do you think? Had a look and I thought, wow, given the price point, this was something that was absolutely we should have. The annual subscription fee that we pay CapDesk, or just paid at renewal, I estimate to be worth roughly 4 hours of a lawyer's time. So if you think that there was one error, let's say in an Excel spreadsheet, and it took you or lawyer 4 hours to fix it, CapDesk pays for itself straight away from that first error. So if it's eliminating all errors, the legal fees that you will save in the long run are huge. Using CapDesk for the first time was quite interesting because it's the first application of its type I'd ever used. There are certain features that we like to use a lot. Interesting, the draft feature, which allows you effectively to report against things before they've been firmed up, is actually quite handy to do some modelling and to make sure that you've entered numbers correctly. We have been asking for new features, and some pop up every so often. So I think, as we grow together, I think we'll be seeing our customer experience improving all the time. Every employee has access to see their own equity schedules. We opened it up to all investors so that they can see their own shareholdings, and that saves a lot of time. I very often get questions from investors saying, well, how many shares have I got? You just simply remind them that they do have access and send them a new link, and they're in, they can answer their questions, and they're very happy. CapDesk has helped our perception amongst our investors a great deal. I think it shows we've done this before. We're not novices at this, at running businesses with a view to expanding them rapidly. The fact that we chose to move on to CapDesk at an early stage, way before we desperately needed to, demonstrated to our investors that we knew where we were heading, and it showed ambition. On a day-to-day basis, CapDesk has made running the equity something that is incredibly quick to address. I maybe get 2 or 3 questions a week from investors one way or another that require me to look at CapDesk. I can log in, or even better, give them a login and answer questions quickly, accurately, and get it right first time. Our last quarterly reporting to HMRC, we generated our EMI reporting from CapDesk, which had the benefit of both being absolutely accurate and also looking good. If you can put in the work at a time when you are not horribly busy on a transaction and get your onboarding onto a platform like CapDesk done at a calm time, the investment will save all the aggravation at a time when you can least afford it. In the middle of a transaction, 5 minutes to your IPO, The sooner you can get off spreadsheets and onto a tool designed to store the data that you are trying to get stored, the better. An early investment today is going to save you a lot of pain tomorrow.